Welcome to another live stream. Actually, this isn't live. This is a re-recording, a recreation, a very condensed recreation of last night's live stream, which quite a few of you tuned in on. It was 2 hours. We had lots of fun, lots of interaction. I had fun. I think the audience had fun. And normally I get, there's the crew that I catch with the live streams or catch the live streams. And then there's thousands of you that watch the live streams after the fact. Well, there were some things in this past live stream that I wanted to edit out. I'm going to talk about why in just a moment. But I tried to edit it with YouTube's editor and, well, it just didn't take. It did not take, so I deleted it. That's why I'm making this. I'm going to do a recreation, cover all the topics that I had last night. As a matter of fact, I'll list them right here. All of the topics, we'll cover all of those in a condensed, faster format. You just won't get that audience interaction thing that's so fun with the live streams. Maybe I'll catch you on the next one and we can do that there. But let me start out, before I get into any of the meat of this video, I want to say something. I'm not a financial advisor. This says bike financing up in the title. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm just sharing my opinions and my observations, which as an American, I'm free to do. So let's get going with today's video. And I'm going to start out with these topics. And I'll start up top with that bike financing. And I'm going to jump, first has to do with this bike. I'm going to jump to the bike's online website and to that Siskiu, that Polygon Siskiu T7, a bike I just reviewed. I hope you've watched that review. If you haven't, pause this and go check it out and then come back. It's an amazing bike. But it's also a little more expensive than most of the bikes that I have here on the channel. I do a lot of budget bikes, a lot of Walmart bikes. I mean, getting over $700 is a big deal to me. I know it is to a lot of you. So what do you think about financing a bike? Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. It's just my opinions and my observations. But I see here that $16.99, they have a thing that says that they finance, and I can click on this PayPal link and there are options to finance. And how about what this does to the price? Because $16.99 over 6 months, it becomes $17.89.49. Then if you go to 12 months, it's a lower monthly payment, but you're paying even more for the bike. Then the 24 months, even more. That's over $2,000 for the $16.99 bike. What do you think about that? However, I'm super curious, because they're back on that main page. Up at the top right hand corner, it clearly says ride now, pay later. And it says 0% interest. Well, going back to that PayPal, I don't see 0% interest there. What I found out is that if you go into the shopping cart, there are multiple options, one of which is Afterpay. And the Afterpay is 4 payments of $443.50, which I added up. I had to use a calculator. I added that up, and that was $17.74, which with tax, with shipping, was just the price of the bike. Let me pose the question this way. What do you think about financing when it's 0% versus financing with interest versus not buying just with the money you have? I'm really curious what my viewers' opinions are line up with just my personal feelings. And by the way, let me go back to this Bikes Online website here for just another second and tell you I'm not sponsored by Bikes Online. I'm sending back that review bike as soon as they send me a shipping return label. But I do have affiliate accounts. And under my affiliate accounts, one of the platforms, Bikes Online is under there. So always check my descriptions if you're shopping, because I might have an affiliate link that you can kind of help support the channel without costing you anything extra. We all win that way, so really appreciate it if you use the affiliate links. Let's try another website. This time we're going to go to Giant. And this bike that is clearly a beginner bike. I mean, so obviously only for green trails. This Trans X Advanced Pro SE. The SE stands for Special Edition. And I know it's just for green trails because they didn't even try with their little branding here. Cutting edge technology that doesn't even sound fancy. Sounds like you copied and pasted off somewhere. But what else are you going to get with a green beginner trail bike? I'm kidding. This bike is absolutely awesome. I would do a lot for this bike. but it's also $7,000. Now, given certain points in time, I can swallow this $1,699 for a bike. I mean, that's still a lot to me for a bike, but $7,000, you know, I can buy a car, a used car for that, or put a chunkin' big down payment on a car. Again, not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but if I really wanted this bike, how could I pay for it since I don't have $7,000 to plunk down for the bike? Well, again, we get to financing, and this time through Affirm, and I see Affirm all over the internet. But look at this. This Affirm financing is 0%, but that's a big monthly payment, at least it would be to me. There's also, that's for 6 months, and then there's a 12-month with a lesser monthly payment, but also still 0% interest. There's no interest on this until it gets up to 36 months. Very low monthly payment, but then you're paying more for the bike, $1,735. What do you think about that? And also, down here at the bottom, rates are between 0 to 30% APR. Well, if it happened to be the 30% APR, that would double effectively, I believe, that other. So anyway, again, not financial advice, I'm just talking observations here. What do you think about that? Someone waiting for a bike or someone financing a bike versus the kind of the middle ground, the 0% financing, which is pretty much just like paying for it just over time. I'm really curious as to your opinions on this. So comment below with that, and that's where I'm going to end with the bike financing. It's more I want to hear what you think to see if your thought process aligns with mine when it comes to stuff like this. Next up, the Polygon Siskiu. Going right back to the Polygon. Right there it is, that Siskiu T7. Such an awesome little bike. I think a great deal, at least in my opinion, considering how well it rides, how it performs. But there are two things that I got wrong in my review. Now, to be fair, at least my excuse, I unboxed that bike and I had just a few minutes to get some footage of it before that nice new bike footage, which I like to get before it was even ridden. I didn't even get to ride the bike. I was the third rider of that bike, just minutes after I unboxed it and got the initial footage, the unridden footage. It went out of town with someone else. So when I got to the cassette, I was talking about the drivetrain. I was talking about how it's Shimano M6100 series, except for the cassette. And get to the cassette, and this is the benefit of doing this recorded rather than live. I can actually cut in footage here. Some keen-eyed viewers noticed that I said the cassette was a Sunrace MZ800. Well, they noticed, and they were so keen-eyed that they knew that the tooth pattern on this cassette was not a Sunrace, that was actually a Shimano Deore. Well, I got that from the website. I also mentioned the tires. The tires on the website said that they were V-tire, but these are Schwalbe Hans Dampf, which in my opinion are better. I love these tires. Great, great tires. So that and the cassette I got from the website. I had that part of the video edited. I recorded the first few minutes of the clean new bike. I had the voiceover for that done before I ever even rode the bike. So that's my excuse, but to be clear about it, it does in fact have a complete Shimano M6100 series drivetrain, from the cranks to the derailleur to the cassette. So that's even better. It makes it even better. And a curious omission, or a curious change, because you would think that Bikes Online would really want to tout that it's also a Shimano Deore cassette. Anyway, that is the Polygon T7 update, just like it was in the live stream, just minus me getting off track. Next, let's talk about bike tools and talk underrated bike tool. So what do you think when you think necessary bike tools for someone that would buy a bike, say from Walmart, in a box, not one assembled by Walmart, but I'm talking about someone that would buy a bike in a box and then put it together themselves. What are some of the tools that they would need? Well, you might think pedal wrench. Someone mentioned in the live stream a foot pump or an air pump. Yeah, that's important. Air up those tires. But there's one tool that I think is underutilized. I don't know, underappreciated really fits, but underutilized definitely. I've even seen in bike shops, sometimes they don't use them. But I will also say that mechanics They kind of know what they're doing with wrenching and kind of sense pressure and stuff. What I'm talking about, pressure and stuff, is Pro Bike Tool. This is my handy dandy bike torque wrench. I think these are so critical for making sure that you don't get things too tight or too loose, like a stem bolt, stem cap bolts, brake calipers, things like that. They're very, very important on a bike. This specific tool, and I'm not shilling for this company, though I did put a link down in the description because I also have the Amazon affiliate stuff. This is the one that I use, and I incorrectly said in my live stream that I got it on a flash sale for $40-something, and I thought it cost normally $60-something. I actually paid $69.99 for this thing, and today when I looked, it was down around $64 or $65, so it's cheaper now than when I bought it. But this is a really good little torque wrench. It is in Newton meters. It goes from 2 Newton meters up to 20 Newton meters. But it also includes all of these. And this is pretty much everything that you need on just about any bike that you work on. This is a very, very good bike-specific torque wrench. Now, here's the thing, and another thing I messed up last night. I held this up. This is a Pittsburgh Pro torque wrench. This is a big one. But they also make 1/4 inch, which is the same size as this. This Pittsburgh stuff, you can get it at Harbor Freight. And I looked up, they have a 1/4 inch Pittsburgh torque wrench. Doesn't have all the adapters that comes with this, but it's only $18.99. So there are budget torque wrenches that work on a bike. And what I got wrong last night was I said that that torque wrench from Harbor Freight, the 1/4 inch version of this, was from 20 to 200 inch-pounds, and I said that that would not work. A lot of the grips, if they're a lock-on grip, it'll be 2 Newton meters. Some other stuff, I've seen 3 Newton meters, so I thought, well, 20 inch-pounds ain't gonna cover that. Well, I was wrong. It turns out the Harbor Freight 1/4 inch version, just like this, with its 20 inch-pounds to 200 inch-pounds, it pretty much does work. It's a little over 2 Newton meters, but it's still below 3 Newton meters, so 2.5. It's not really going to strip anything out. So there are cheaper options if you didn't want to go with a little fancy bike-specific set. But I do like this. I prefer this because it has all the attachments, all the fittings that I need. Hex, star, Torx in all the different sizes. Well, I'm not going to go over them all. I don't know how well you can see that, but I'll put a link down in the description if you want to take a look at something like that. I think torque wrenches are underutilized. I can't tell you how many times I see people just throw stuff together. I can't tell you how many times I've encountered bikes that were loose, even myself. I told this story last night. I have so many bikes in my basement. I might have worked on it, and I'll swap forks between bikes. I do all kinds of stuff. And there have been points where I swapped a fork and I just lightly tightened it down and stuck it in the basement and forgot about it. Then maybe a month later, I'm walking through, I'm going to take that bike today. And that's what I'm going to ride on the trail. And I get it out to the trail. I have actually got on a bike and started pedaling up the trail and went to make a left turn onto the first trail and felt just that little bit of give and looked down, and my tire is still straight and my handlebars are a little canted. And then I get off and realize, oh my gosh, I forgot to torque that down, and then load it up, come back home, torque it down, and then start feeling nervous about maybe that was an omen for today with this bike and I get a different bike. But I use these regularly, religiously until I forget, and then I use them after the fact. So I recommend a torque wrench in your tool set if you're going to be assembling your own bike. Doesn't matter if you buy this or you buy the Pittsburgh, because this Pittsburgh Pro stuff, I haven't seen any of these yet that I've had, or anyone that I know has had, that's not so out of calibration range. I mean, like this one, I think it's within a couple of foot-pounds, 2 to 3 foot-pounds when I'm torquing down on stuff. So on the inch-pounds, you know, if it's off an inch-pound or two, I don't think they're anything really to worry with, not that I have seen, especially considering the price. And I believe that these have a lifetime guarantee. I don't see it on here, but I believe these have a lifetime guarantee at Harbor Freight. So, you know, $18 and How much is that? I'm gonna look. My curiosity got the best of me and I had to look it up. It's actually $18.99 from Harbor Freight with the lifetime guarantee. That's pretty good. And if you're tight for funds, you like budget shopping. I mean, we are mostly dealing with budget bikes here at KevCentral. Something like that might be the better option for you. I don't recommend specific bikes, but I will recommend that someone use proper tools, whether that be a cheap tool or a fancier tool, and they make them far more expensive than this. But whether it be that, use a torque wrench, especially if you're just starting out. You don't quite have that, that's 5 foot-pounds kind of thing in your mind. That does it for that topic. Let's look at our next one here, and that is Lectric Curiosity. You may have already spotted back here. That is the new Lectric Expedition, a very different Lectric e-bike than they've had before, like crazy huge range, great torque. It's a utility bike, it's not a folder. So that's different from Lectric. This thing is built like a tank. My curiosity comes in that this has been out since I think the February the 18th, something like that. I don't know if it's the 14th or the 18th, but some give or take a few days in that range. And every other electric bike, Lectric, they have a huge following. They make really, in my opinion, they make really, really good e-bikes. And every time they release an e-bike, I have people contact me. They'll send me a bike. Usually I get bikes so that I can launch a review on launch day for their bikes, but for some reason, I got that after everyone else. I wasn't happy with that. I put it at the end of the line because I got it so late I wasn't going to make launch day. I put it at the end of the line, not to be passive aggressive, but because I thought, well, I got it late. I can't have it on launch day. It's not that important to get it out speedy, so I'll put it behind a few other bikes and cue all the crazy weather and my non-internet for almost a week. All that has moved this. I've been riding it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty fun to ride, but I'm really curious. All the other electric bikes, I've had people ask me, they'll launch them at midnight. And I'll have a video queued up to go live at maybe 9 a.m. because I don't want a video to launch at midnight when no one is up. They launch a bike. I will have people literally commenting 2 minutes after it launched. Hey, 2 minutes ago on the Lectric website, a new e-bike popped up. Are you going to review it? Are you going to review it? Wake up in the morning, I've got 50 messages from people. Hey, did you know that this has come out? Are you going to review it? A new Lectric e-bike. That's been out since February the 18th-ish. So we're talking a month and a half, almost going to be closing in here on 2 months. I haven't had a single person ask me about this bike. And I find that odd because I've reviewed other utility bikes and those videos did quite well. A lot of interest. So why not this one? I'm curious. I'm very curious of just their Lectric's whole market is maybe a little different because this would work great for factories and workers like that, delivery workers, stuff like that. I'm really curious. So comment below with that if you could. Help me understand before I publish my review, and maybe I can tailor it a little better to better fit what you're interested in as an audience. A quick cut and we're already to the mentions and shout outs. And what happens on live streams, I'll have people that will do a super chat. It'll pop up your name and that you made a super chat. I give you a shout out. I even do this thing. I have the wavy, wacky, inflatable, flailing arm guy. That's loud, I know. But I do that for the super chats. It's a whole new thing. It's kind of fun when it's happening live. And in my last live stream, not the one I deleted that this is replacing, in the live stream before that, I was doing something and I saw a super chat pop up and I saw the name. It was Flash5 and I said, Flash5, I'll get to you in just a second. And I did whatever I was doing and then I came back and I forgot to mention Flash5. So Flash5, I really appreciate the super chat. I hope you see this and that makes up for me missing. Also, another shout out. In my last video, I said that I showed some brifters. Someone actually mailed me some brifters and a note says, come to the gravel side, we have cake. And I didn't have this piece of paper. I had it off to the side. Well, that is the Instagram for the person that sent that set of drifters. I appreciate it. I'm probably not going to the gravel side. I'm trying, but I'm trying. I'll just put it there, but I do appreciate those. I'll hang on to them. They're actually stored right now. I will store them, and maybe in the future, if I come across a point, I'll cross it, and then you'll know. But thank you so much. To get my fingers out of the way here so everyone can see the Instagram there. Thank you so much. That's the shout outs and the mentions, and the entire recap is done now. Just minus the fun audience interaction and the 2 hours of stuff, including me doing stupid things like I still have a bunch of push pins that I accidentally knocked off where I put my foot. They're all over the floor here. It's a good thing I have on shoes. That is Alabama. That's not a guarantee here, but have to pick those up. You miss stuff like that. All kinds of fun. I hope you tune in to my next live stream. Thank you so much for watching this one from a non-financial advisor, just giving my opinions on things. Comment below with anything that you want to comment about on this video. Have a great day.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shoot tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song.